In last session, we discussed about triggers, right? So, particularly we discussed about this one when I say how to write before triggers and how to write after triggers, right? So, but today we'll see here in trigger how we are maintaining our events based on the if condition, saying that trigger dot is insert and then is before, and then we are checking for each and every operation type, isn't it? Now, today we'll write a trigger. Uh, in this session, we'll see how to write a trigger at a contact object and get your parents' fields auto populated in your contact object. Okay. See, earlier discussion, we discussed like how to auto populate it from the same object to other field, isn't it? Today we'll see writing a trigger on a child object and then getting your parent information and running up data updates. Clear? For that, I need to define a trigger on contact object sfdx, create apex trigger, contact trigger. And here, before getting into a trigger code, let's understand I have a different events. Let's say before insert, after insert, and let me do one thing. I'll go to my account trigger, I'll copy paste instead of this because we already discussed in the before sessions. If not, you can go back to previous videos. So I defined all my videos. Now what I'm expecting to do, let me define my trigger handler. sfdx, create apex class, contact trigger handler. And here I'll do a simple thing called public static void run. I'll say public static void run. Okay, here I'll say system dot trigger operation trigger event, or as yeah, that's fine, trigger event will be fine. So I just define system dot trigger operation type and trigger event. Clear? This is an update from Salesforce. Instead of you write if conditions, you can able to write uh, you can able to write a switch case statement where this trigger type is a enum variable. When I say enum variable, it have a functionality where you can quickly figure it out. I'll show you what to do. Control Shift P. Preferences, workspace. Yep. Now here, what I'll do, switch on trigger event. Switch on trigger event. Here I can say when before underscore insert. When before insert. Let's say if it is after insert you need, then you can say when after insert. And technically you don't need to do anything else. All you need to keep events with a underscore in the capital letter. Okay. So let's say, let me open up a arc. And here you can see what is system dot operation type. Sorry. Copy. Trigger operation is a enum which have all the trigger events after delete, after insert, after undelete, after update, all the events. Whenever the event is after insert or before insert, that will becomes as a value after insert. Yes, it is after insert. If it is before insert, then it will come as a before insert. Instead of you write a complex if conditions, you can simply depend on enum variable called trigger operation. So now let's go back here. How to call this method? How to call this method? Let's say I'll create one more method called, instead of public, I'll say private static void before insert. Before insert, and I'll say this is my before, because I'm running a contact. Let's say whether my code is working or not. First contact record trigger dot new. You can able to access the fields here also, trigger dot new, because this class is getting called from a trigger, so you can able to access these variables at any place. Okay, now let's say record dot add error, your trigger is executing as expected. How to call this method? This is so simple. All I need to call this method here. That's it. Within the class, you only need to no need to mention a class name. Okay. If you want, you can mention. There is no harm. But ideally, in ideal case, you don't want to mention. In trigger, we don't do anything else. In trigger, we don't do anything else. We'll simply call your apex class dot run method. That's it. Apex class dot run, and which one we say, because no, here we need to pass operation type, right? Trigger dot operation trigger dot operation type. This is what we'll pass from here. Oh, sorry. Deploy. So trigger dot operation type written variable does not exist. Contact trigger. What is variable does not? Contact trigger handler. Deploy. Okay. Deploy. Okay, perfect. Let me get to contact object. Because we are writing at which event? Before insert. As soon as I try creating an account, contact, it should throw an error. Save. Your trigger is executing as expected. Right, this is what the error we throw, isn't it? If we can really compare from the, if we can able to compare the old sessions, in the old session, if I open my account trigger, which is completely different with a lot of code at a trigger also, right? Now you can see how clean it become. Everything in Apex class, there will be no more trigger dependencies. And you will be knowing the flow just from here, right? So, and the execution also will be more fast than writing having a multiple if conditions, and code looks much more cleaner. Yep. So let's not delay. Let's say I want to throw an error if the account name is not there. If contact is getting created without account name, I should throw an error. How can I do that? If record dot account ID equal to null, then I need to throw an error. How can I do? Record dot account ID dot add error account is required. Let's say if account is selected, then what I need to do? If account is selected, then I need to populate my account name. I need to check my account rating is equal to hot, then or I need to populate my account rating in description. And I need to populate my account rating in description. Clear? But let's say if I say record dot description equal to, but how can I get my account rating here? But record is a contact object. You cannot access your contact information. But on trigger.new is a contact context variable which will hold only contact information, which will not hold parent information. This is the time where you need to query your parent records, okay? This is the time where you need. But to query your parent records, what we should know first, because in Salesforce system, we'll be having more than, we have more accounts, but technically you might need only one account, right? Or some few accounts, not like all the accounts. So for that, what we can do, first we need to find a record ID. First we need to find all the account IDs to one variable, okay? First we need to find all account IDs to a single set. How can I do that? Let's say private static set of IDs, get account IDs, get account IDs. Now I'm just adding a little twist in my code here. Account IDs equal to new set of ID, and for instead of contact I will be defining S object. See, contact also you can do that. If I want to do, then I need to write like same way, but here I will be adding a little twist. S object record colon trigger dot new, and I'll check like this. Record dot get equal to null. This is a map. S object is a map technically. So key values will be stored, fields will be a key, and value will be in value. Okay. Account ID. If not equal to null, then I'll say account IDs dot add But whatever the data you will get here, that will be always in the format of string, okay? Object. So that we need to typecast string ACCID equal to string dot value of record dot get account ID. Now we need to pass string or ID. Which one we need to pass? ID dot value of account ID. So this will return as a object, and I'm converting my object to string because you cannot convert object from directly object to ID. So first I'm typecasting to string and then I'm typecasting to ID just to match my results, okay? And then say return account IDs. Clear? So I'm returning this method. If I want to get IDs here, simply I'll do from here, like set of ID account IDs equal to get account IDs. So I'll get my set of account IDs and I'll get my account IDs, isn't it? And then what I need to do, I need to query the accounts, isn't it? How can I do that? I'll create my new method, public static map of ID comma account get accounts. Based on what you need to get now, set of account IDs. So it need to return map of account ID comma account map equal to new map of ID comma which fields you need, select ID comma name comma rating comma description from account where ID in colon your account IDs, right? So once we get a map, then what I'll do, I'll just return my data set, which is nothing but in this case is account map. So I'll invoke here equal to get accounts and I need to pass my account IDs, right? Instead of get accounts, I'll say account map. But now I declared one more variable and then I'm passing. What I can do best, just to keep my memory intact, I can do like this. So what happened? This will get a set of records, right? Set of IDs. And then I'm passing those set of IDs to here, isn't it? So this way, if I declare another variable, it keeps that stack. What happens in this scenario? It just executes, it forgets, it never stores. So I don't want to really store the account IDs. It's just for a query I needed. So I created, I stored, and then I'm deleting those, right? Once I get my account map, then I'll say if account ID equal to null, I'm throwing an error. If it is not, else I'll say account map dot get dot rating. Here what I need to pass here, record dot account ID. Account ID will be a key, isn't it? Account ID is a key, right? In this map, if I pass from contact, I can have account ID. If I have passed account ID here, I can able to get account object. Inside account object, I need rating field. So technically how it looks, account ACC equal to, this is how it will come by default. This is how it looks like. And then once you get account, you can able to read a field of rating from account object, right? So instead of writing this much, I wrote everything in a single statement. For now, we'll leave it is to make it simple. Deploy. Variable does not exist. Record.account ID. Spelling error. Now if I try to say account is required, this is what is coming from trigger. And then let me populate my Procodingskills. If I say, what happens? Here description should come. Details. Okay, Procodingskills doesn't have a rating. Oh, it doesn't have a rating. Say contacts, new contact, admin contact, and I'm selecting my account and then say details. Now I can see heart, right?